There we go. Hello, everybody, and we are back for another episode. I think it's episode 56 of Cullen on Film, and we're here with Michael Robert Anderson. It's your first time on Cullen on Film, right?
Yeah, I think so. I came into the studio with the other things, I think twice.
So shorts and whatever else we were doing, but
we did a Twitch stream with Ming one night. It was cool.
That's right. Yeah, we haven't done that in a while, so we got to tell Ming, be like, let's do some Twitch.
Absolutely.
And we just did. It was funny because I'm not a TikTok person at all, but we were doing an animation thing for a class, and we found out that there's a good way to do it on TikTok. And you know, a lot of kids are home. So I'm like, well, let's try it on TikTok, and then that way it almost puts it together for you. So there's a cool app on TikTok where you can make animation. So
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that. We learned that because I was like, oh, send your pictures that you take at home, and I'll run it to the editor. We'll do that. We'll put music. I'll send it back. It was a pain in the neck. And then I'm like, wait a second, just do it yourself on TikTok and send it back to me. I was like, yeah.
It's such an amazing editing tool, and I'm still I have a TikTok. I'm not great at it at all. I haven't really figured out what my thing is with it yet. But the editing, I mean, you know, first of all, you always get advertisements and everything. You get advertisements in Facebook, Instagram, but TikTok, after you scroll through, I think 4 or 5 videos, they give you an advertisement. And most of the time, it's an editing thing. It's some kind of like, do you want an upgrade TikTok? And it's like these amazing features that 3 years ago, or, you know, back when I was in college, you were paying $200 for that studio. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, they're well cheaper and easier to do. And I'm like, you can use your phone now, kids, because a lot of people, a lot of them are home. So I'm like, use your phone. It's a good camera. So talking about, have you ever filmed anything on your phone for any kind of project? Have you ever done that? Or recently, like since the phones are so good now with cameras, they're like 4K cameras, right?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done anything cinematic yet with my iPhone. I got the iPhone 11 like at the start of 2020, I think, or whenever that phone came out. So it's a good camera, but I haven't done anything film wise.
So why don't we start by going all the way back? And how did you get involved in acting? And was it theater first? Was it films, commercial? What started it all out? What was
oh man, that's a
long time.
That is a long time at this point. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess my first foray into theater, it was theater first. Was first of all, my mother took me to see Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was like 7 years old, and that was like my second Broadway show, and it was the coolest experience in the world. And I was like, I like that. I want to do that. And then by the time I turned, I'm going to say it was 11, here in Staten Island, there's a college, St. John's University, I think everybody knows. Yeah. They had a summer program for youth, and we did Grease, and like I got beat out by somebody for Danny Zuko. And that was the first time I knew what rehearsals were and what an auditioning process was. And then I put it aside, and then I went to high school, and I was like, I'm going to do football and I'll do theater and I'll figure it out. And my grades were awful. And my high school teacher was like, hey, the theater teacher was like, hey, you're going to have to drop either this or sports because you can't do both. And I was like, all right, I guess I have to stay creative. So I stuck with that. And here we are now, however many years later, on furlough from work. So I guess sticking to your guns in the arts and sticking to it long enough works out for people.
Well, during this crazy time where not many people were working, you got some stuff. I know you were out and you were working a little bit, weren't you?
Yeah, I flew out to LA, which was really cool, and I did a film called Bobcattti with Tim Realbuto and Rob Margolis, and it was just a really cool experience. We filmed in a dispensary, and you know the rules out there, and it was cool. It was a really cool time. especially because the start of the pandemic, I said, okay, I have to organize all my materials, all my acting stuff. I got to get it together. And I was like neglecting the creative aspect of it. I tried so much to reorganize my website and reel, and I wasn't getting anything. And then, out of the blue, it was like, hey, I got something for you. Read for this. Like, this is amazing. And yeah,
did you submit? Did you submit, or they reach out to you?
No.
How does it go about?
Rob actually just he messaged me one day about how he admired the drive that I had, and this was a couple of years. It was a back and forth thing. I had met him through it was called the Actors Green Room, I believe. I had met him, and I emailed him. I had taken a class. Thank you so much. And then it turned out that we had mutual friends, and you were the mutual friend, I believe. I was like, whoa, okay. Now I feel like there's a little bit more of a space to be more personal. Be like, hey, what's up? We know the same people. And
did you let him know that when you were out in LA?
Yeah. I was saying hi to him that everybody else said hi when we went to the podcast, Kevin Smith's podcast and everything. It was just small world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, but he was a Rumson guy, and I had the video store. He would come in and get movies, and so known him for quite a while. So way back then. Right? So it's a small world how that happens.
Absolutely.
But it was funny because when I had that video store, there was a lot of younger people, young kids or teens or whatever coming in. And now a lot of them that I knew back then that came into my video store have made it in the industry, either an actor, actress, or filmmaker. A lot of them. There's a good amount, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, all your students seem to do well too. That you have now, in terms of their videography and filmmaking skills and everything. So I guess it's just you. It's whoever meets you involved in film. They get out there and get successful.
I try to like I don't think I'm just good at. I learned how to do many different things. I'm not good at just one thing. I learned. I was told when I was younger.
But you have to, yeah.
You have to do everything. So I learned everything, and I've done everything. So I'm not like super talented in here or this or that. So I surround myself with talent. That's a gift.
that's the smart way to go about it, though, because you never. I don't ever want to be the best in the room, because you want to be able to learn from the best in the room. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And then maybe you'll be the best in the room the next day, and then you know what I mean. So yeah, surrounding yourself with people that are so much better than you is important. But you're also like a fantastic artist too, so don't sell yourself short. You're doing a bunch of things. I mean, this has flourished since the pandemic began, really, right? I mean, Cullen on Film just grew. It was born and kind of went.
We do good on Facebook, and I'm trying to get the YouTube up there a little bit, but this is show 56 already, so it's getting up there already, and we get some great people, great talent on it. So if anyone, just check out all the old interviews. You'll see, even if you scroll through them, you'll be like, oh crap, look at that person. Oh, there's some really good ones on there. So I love your background too, by the way. You got some Star Wars, you got some South Park. Is that just there for this, or you always have them up there?
No, actually always. And it's made some people uncomfortable. Some people love it. Salacious B. Crumb, as ugly as he is, he has to sit there. He's actually animatronic and moves his head and mouth. If he sits on your shoulder. Yeah.
That's awesome. This is my guy. I got my Yoda.
I love that. I got the baby Yoda sitting on my shelf over here now too. Yeah.
That's funny.
A lot of stuff in front of me.
That's cool. But so have you written anything during this time? Because I know you write and I know you create. So have you written anything during, like, I guess I would say like start COVID, like from a year ago?
So, okay. So, I mean, yeah, we're coming up to a year, and there's a whole lot within the year. But early on, my friend Matt and I, with Purple Cloud, we dove into Hound Dog, which was the short film that we actually had at your festival, and we dove into the feature for the script, and we had a read through, and we've gone back and we revisited it, and now we're in the stages where we're really finalizing the draft of the script that we would like to pitch out and see people's thoughts and producers and have conversations, and
Yeah.
that's the big thing. I've been writing a lot of music actually, which I've never like wrote my own music, put out any really songs or anything. So yeah, that's kind of the writing I've been doing. I would like to pick up a film or so soon, but I don't know yet.
What about writing music for the film that you're creating?
You mean
be like do a score for your like, say you do your next film, you do a score for it.
It's not a bad idea. I'm doing a lot of songwriting though. It's a lot less electronic and a lot more folky or Cornell, or it's in that middle ground. So maybe I could write a film about the songwriter. I don't know.
There you go. Write the song first and then develop
Inside
around,
Llewyn Davis. Did you ever see Inside Llewyn Davis? That movie
I haven't seen the full thing, but yeah, I've seen some of it. Yeah.
He was robbed. Oscar Isaac was robbed of a Oscar nomination, I think.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic performance.
No, he did. Yeah, he was just learning guitar, I think, a little before that, actually.
Yeah.
From what I heard in one of the interviews or something like that. Like he was just learning it, and then that came up, and he went in there and got it because he learned the guitar. So you never know. So what kind of instruments can you play? You play guitar? You play?
Mostly guitar. I'm reteaching myself piano. I haven't shared any videos of that just yet. Ukulele, bass, I can mess around with. I did a show in college that I had to learn how to play the upright bass in like 3 weeks.
No.
And that was cool.
Wow.
Awesome. Mostly string though. I can't do wood instruments at all. I can't do a flute or saxophone, none of that.
Absolutely.
But,
so Hound Dog, it played a lot of festivals. It did pretty well. And is it still going? Because everything kind of went to a stop. Is it still in the festival route?
I think we're waiting to hear back from maybe 2 festivals, but we made the festival round. We did the film Freeway thing, and I'm definitely wrong about the number, but I'm gonna just say ballpark. Out of 20 submissions, we hit about 9 or 10 amongst the throughout the run
for the film Freeway thing. But yeah, I know I've seen it at a few festivals. That's why I was like, hey,
we've been very fortunate.
The New York and New Jersey rounds, it kind of made that. Has it played? Have you put it into anything out west at all?
We submitted it to a lot of things. There was a San Francisco festival, an LA one. I don't think we got any of those. We might have gotten the Indie Film Awards, which I think is based in LA.
Yeah,
but nothing else. I don't think.
Oh, cool. And do you have any other films out after that were I guess before COVID? Did you finish anything or anything out there that you were in? After Hound Dog?
I wrote and I co-wrote and directed something that's definitely kind of in limbo at the moment. Figuring out just details with that. I made a film called Chirping that I actually don't think I submitted anywhere. And if I did, it might have just been to your festival because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I even finished that film. I think I'd sent you a draft, and I think that was the last thing I made was a film called Chirping. And it's just it's a film about a poem I wrote.
Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I see all those all the time, especially with my students, right? A lot of experimentals with poetry and all that. So, and then before Hound Dog, you had another film in all the festivals and Hang On to Your Shorts, and you won awards. So that was a pretty wild film and hard to do, right?
Are we talking about Major Key?
Yes.
Or
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if the other one went into that because remember my buddy Mike had the space film that I think also went through, and that was an endeavor just as well, and that was around the same time. So, Major Key. I was just talking to somebody about this today that they wanted to watch some of our films from Purple Cloud, and I sent them the link, and they just watched Beyond Kepler, and she loved that, and then was like, I'm watching Major Key, and yeah, it's nice to revisit some of the old stuff. And, you guys over at Hang On to Your Shorts and you specifically really just helped push the film along.
Yeah,
So
and it played well at the few fests that I'm part of. It did well, and then so people can see this now. Is it on your website where they could just click on it and watch it?
yeah. If you go to my website, michaelrobertanderson.com, it's at purplecloudentertainment.com. I think it's also purplecloudny.com. If you type that, it's on YouTube. You could just type in Major Key. Hound Dog is not out yet. That's the one that we're waiting, for the festivals to finish. But I'm hoping that within 6 months, maybe we'll be able to give that a little bit more of a public release.
That's cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So before COVID, and I guess I don't know how long you did it, but you were doing some traveling, weren't you? On in the ocean.
Yeah, I had the coolest job. That was the coolest job ever. That was March. No, that was June to December of 19.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's so crazy to say that 2019 feels like the last year that we had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We just skipped over.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me that I've known some people and that the experiences that I had on that ship were 2 years ago.
Did it end before? Did it end? Did that run end before all this, or was that the cause of it ending?
No. Okay. So I was on the ship, and then I came home. I got the apartment. We were getting ready to write everything, and then I got an offer to come back. And it was March 1st. I flew back to Tampa to do the show. If anybody knows Norwegian Cruise Line, Sid Norman's Poorhouse. It's an incredible rock show. It's just 60s, 70s, and 80s classic rock, and we were just singing and jamming, all week.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I got back there in March. We were in the middle of learning Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album when they came in and were like, "You guys, we got to send you home. There's something going on in the world."
Wow.
And that was March. They told us on March 13th, and I didn't get a flight home until the 17th. So yeah, we're coming up to about a year since.
That's when
since
shut
I
down,
came back.
right before. No, right. I think in March 15th.
It was like that in between gap. Yeah, because I remember getting calls from my friends about Jersey. They teach out in Jersey, and they're like, everything's shutting down.
I remember saying to the kids too, I gave out all the cameras to rent because I knew we were going to be away. I'm like, 2 weeks. We'll be out for 2 weeks. So take the cameras, do it 2 weeks.
God. And they have all that gear. Wow.
I had to, in the summer, I had to track it down and get it back and everything like that. So it was interesting. But I got it all back, which was crazy. Like driving by, drop it off, throw it in the car, throw it in.
Bucket on the roof, just toss it.
So we've had some interesting, but we've been in school for most of this year. Sometimes we had to stay home, but this every other day. Some of the kids are there, some are online the whole time. So there were some I haven't even met.
Yeah,
it's been online the whole year. So
I say it a lot. I commend these kids for what they have to go through. Because if I was in school and all this was happening, the kids that I went to school with, we would have raised hell every day for the experience. And honestly, I give a lot of respect to the kids right now because they are still adapting to this new change.
I wouldn't know what to do. I went to high school in the 90s, so we didn't have this stuff. Imagine it happened then. What do you do?
That would be wild. Yeah.
You would just have to go read all the books.
Sit home and listen to your Smashing Pumpkins albums.
There you go.
That's what I would do.
It sounds good to me. That's or Nirvana.
That's what I've been doing is listening to Smashing Pumpkins and Chris Cornell for
still doing the same thing that I would have been doing back then. Absolutely.
It's great.
So that's how that is my music. And that's how I actually, when I want to write, I have to listen to 90s music to get me in the mood and refocus. Because all this time I wanted to write, but I got a million things going on. I want to write. I want to make, but I can't. I just blocked. Can't.
Well, listen, let's collaborate.
There we go.
The couple of people that you introduced me to, we were talking about working on a web show, a comedy kind of thing. So hey, we'll collaborate. We'll write something together. You know Ryan O'Regan, another friend of mine that I didn't know you knew.
He was on the 50th episode. So yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah.
That's
Small
I told you
world.
it is a small world in the film industry. It's a small world, but it's also it's a big small world, I would say. So
Yeah.
it's amazing who you might know and might not know, and it's. But I've been doing it for a long time now, so I kind of know a lot of the people, or I know this person that knows this person, and that's how it gets done. It's and that's how the film festivals were too. So that's what we're missing out on. So
that's the worst part about it. It's just like the best part about the festivals is you show up and you have a conversation and you're meeting and you're watching with people, and that was like the hardest part about not going out with Hound Dog was what we had plans, and we still plan to do these things, but I mean there were convention ideas, and there were horror festival things and ideas, some niche environment.
Have you gone to horror festivals? They're so much fun, and I was getting into it, and I was going to start podcasting at these and interviewing people. That was my new thing, going to all these cons and doing that.
Yeah.
And nope. But
it will listen. It will exactly. It's gonna come back, and we will all thrive. We will all be creative. Yeah. I started a podcast at the very beginning of this, and I never followed through. I've thought about bringing that back. I mean,
it's good. It's good to do, at least to talk to people too.
It's about philosophy. It's a fun one. It's a fun one.
Absolutely. So it's always fun to talk to people on this. I like the StreamYard here. I like it does really well, and it's done well for me.
I had never heard of this either. I had never heard of this, but I like the little duck with the headphones. That's a classic little thing.
So it was also a company that it just recently got bought out. So, and the people that started it are still working for it, even though it got bought out. How cool is that?
Oh, yeah, I have to keep up because I don't keep up anymore. I didn't know what Twitch or Stream or whatever it was for a while.
It's hard to keep up. It's hard to do all the technology. I'm still on Facebook all the time. So it's like I'm just learning Instagram, just trying to branch out. And I'm a kind of a tech savvy kind of guy, but it's too much.
It's TikTok. That's the one. You got to follow TikTok right now. Stay on top of that, and then you'll know what's next.
I do have a TikTok for school, but I'm not on it. It's just a couple animated things. Okay. That's it. No me dancing or anything like that. So, but that's not me.
You should start. You know what you should do? You should start a TikTok that you're teaching filmmaking, indie filmmaking. CJ's way, and you talk about some of the things that you had to experience when you were making films. Like I remember, if I knew half the shit that I'm sorry if I'm not allowed to. If I knew half the stuff that I had to say, that I had to learn along the way before I started making films, I mean, it would have been so much easier. But I'm grateful because trial and error. But we've had to like rig a lot of crazy stuff together to make a film work. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why I think indie filmmaking is the best type of filmmaking.
It's like going to film school. It's great. That's how I learned. Behind the scenes, but
yeah. You should do a TikTok teaching.
I didn't really go to film school. I had broadcasting and TV many years ago, and it was different than it is now. So I learned on set. That's how I learned. So
and that's more or less. I mean, that's how I learned. I went to acting school, and then I was like, I have to make movies because I don't know how else to get my way into a movie. So I'm gonna take this tripod and see if I can put a camera on it.
How did your little production company get created? How did that come about?
Oh man, that was so
long ago now.
I mean, I don't know. 2014 is when I met Matt. No, but I mean, you think about it. It's 2021, dude. That's
man. I was like 2014. I thought that was yesterday.
But that's 7 years ago. Like that's still, and I mean,
that's when we started hanging on to your shorts.
Wow. And I mean, I've known you 4 years already, man. Like that's crazy.
That's fast, yeah.
But yeah, so 2014, I had met Matt, and we had a mutual friend that I went to high school with, and he went to elementary school with, and we wanted to make this like action drama show that was like FBI, but not good. And we were all college students, so it wasn't. If anything, it was just ambitious. But through that, Matt and I started to hang out and talk about ideas, bounce ideas off each other, and then eventually it was just, hey, I got this idea. I'm gonna write it. You mind shooting it? Yeah, I got this idea. You mind shooting it? Oh yeah, cool. Let's maybe act in each other's stuff, or you can edit this because you're an editor and I like to act. And it kind of just from there, it is what it is now. However, Hound Dog is our first dual written script outside of Pipsqueak and Stretch, which was our web series.
No, cool.
So.
And can you see those web series on your
Yeah, that's actually, so we're and I don't think, I mean, I'm allowed to say we're in the process of possibly revisiting Pipsqueak and Stretch, but that's you know what I mean.
I know. I would love to like reshoot the crap that I did a couple of years back.
Right. And that's the thing.
Better, do it over again.
I look at it and I'm like, oh man, this was so great, but we could do so much more now because we know so much more. But it's we have there are other ambitions. Hound Dog is like, it's gonna be the biggest thing we've ever done, but I am very confident that we will find a way. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was 2014 we met, and then it was just, hey, you like movies? I like movies. Let's do it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's basically how it happens, I guess. Yeah. So and a lot of people from the festivals like have met at the festivals and came back and from these festivals and were like bringing films back they collaborated on years later. Right. And I would have no idea. I'd be like, wait, I didn't know you two knew each other. Oh yeah, we met at your fest. Oh great.
Yeah.
Happens quite.
I didn't have a real relationship with Jack Mulcahy, even though we had done Beyond Kepler, but it was really when we had spoke at Hang On to Your Shorts about Major Key, and just like that was your festival brought us together. So
that's true. Yeah, absolutely. And I met him at a festival.
Yeah, that's
I was like, he was walking in, and I was like, Brothers McMillan? I was like, what?
I have never seen the movie yet. I know for
you gotta go watch it.
For shame. And I love Ed Burns too. So he
has some good stuff. I got to meet Jack, and then I got to work with Ed Burns too. So that was something.
That's crazy.
That was really cool.
Jackson. I mean, and Jack and I, we didn't work directly together, but we did Girl Boxer, which is a film by Lauren McCann that is just like
it's out there now, right?
It's doing so amazingly well. I mean, it's such a stellar film from top to bottom.
You gotta get those in our festivals.
I mean, Lauren, if you're listening, just submit to CJ's fests. Yeah, it's some of the best, and I want to get this DP on our stuff. He's so incredible. Dominic Savilli, if I'm not pronouncing it right, I hope I am. But yeah, man. Sorry, I just go on tangents. I haven't had a conversation about film in such a long time.
That's why this thing goes so fast. I do the one-on-ones for like 30 minutes, and then we do like I have another one coming up. We have a couple people on that. And it was a little longer, but it flies by. It flies by.
No, but it's great, man. It's great. And next, I gotta get Matt on next time too. Because I'm sure he wants to spurt ideas out too about film.
We're doing a lot of one-on-ones, and then we do like a lot of like short film reunions, or like if you haven't seen each other in a while, come on. We have like cast and crew. And
what would be amazing to do that if we got the Hound Dog cast from the short together, so I can get who I haven't seen. One of my best friends in like a year. I haven't seen Jess, she produces for us. Like she's the one that gets everything together on set. Our coordinator, all that.
Maybe if you want to put that together, we'll do a show. Absolutely.
That would be
awesome. Do the Hound Dog reunion show here on Cullen on Film. I love that was the new thing. And I was also doing a thing for a little bit with getting other podcasters on with me, and we were like combining podcast shows. So that was something I was doing over the summer.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's comes and goes. For a while there when school was a little crazy, I stopped doing little shows here or there, but I got 56 of them now.
50. So that's crazy, man.
So anyone could go check out those shows. They're on the YouTube. They're on Facebook, on the Cullen on Film. Do you have anything that you want to promote out there? Put out there? What are your websites again? Maybe repeat them so people know.
You could follow me on Instagram, MichaelRobert_Anderson, MichaelRobertAnderson.com, PurpleCloudNY.com. And I'm just keep up with me. I've got some really cool, exciting stuff coming up. So yeah, that I'm not going to talk about just yet, but I'll be posting about it. So thank you so much for having me, CJ. It's been great.
Absolutely, it was cool to have you on, and we'll do it again soon. It'll be cool. Get some more people on, have maybe a reunion show of your award-winning short from Hang On to Your Shorts.
That would be great.
Something like that. But just keep in touch, and we'll do something soon.
Absolutely, man. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
I'm just gonna hit this button here, and we're out.
All right.